So I was thinking for ideas for my next video, right? And I decided to talk about the season of the anime of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, mainly because that entire run was generational, everyone was on demon timing, and I'll talk about 3 main points as to what made this season so good. You can say whatever you want about this season having flaws, because it definitely has them, but you can't deny the amount of work and impact that this arc had. But first things first, we're going to start with the main rival of this season, Paul. When the series first starts, we see this dude capturing the same Pokemon 3 times, only for him to use the Pokédex and see which one is the best and release the other 2. Now, as a kid, I was flabbergasted. No, how could you do that? But now as an adult, I realize that he's just like me. Look, my time is limited. I don't have time to be training a deficient Pokemon. My boy has to be perfect immediately or he's getting released into the woods, you hear me? And Ash was over here crying and shocked at what he just saw, as if he had seen a murder taking place or something. This is going to be important for later, don't worry. This dude Paul was a menace. Throughout the season, every time Ash saw or even heard his name, he would start shaking in his boots. There are other examples of Paul being a menace throughout the season. One of, if not the most iconic, being what he did to Chimchar. We have seen how Paul only cares about the best of the best. He cares about strength, so the episode starts, right? And what do we see? We see this dude Paul asking Chimchar to go and get jumped by other Pokemon. As a kid, seeing this was brutal, and even as an adult, I mean, this is straight up abuse. At some point, Ash and his friends see this, and they make sure Chimchar gets rest in the Pokemon Center, and that's when Paul tells us a story on how he met Chimchar, and how one day Chimchar was able to unleash an incredible amount of power thanks to being in a powerless situation like that. And like, I'm happy to receive context, I guess, but there has to be a better way, right? And there is. It's just that Paul doesn't see it. He failed as a trainer, and that's when Ash comes in and takes Chimchar to his group. This moment is emotional as hell, man, and from there on in the series, I was hyped whenever Ash and Paul would fight, because I would be rooting for Chimchar to shut Paul's stupid mouth. But okay, let's go to point number 2. Ash's companion, Dawn. I fucking love Dawn, man. Actually, the season starts with her instead of Ash. The season starts with Dawn preparing her bags before starting her adventure, and I always like this because you can see she has a huge suitcase with basically all of her belongings, to which then her mom is like, "Girl, get this out of my face now," and she gives her a regular backpack instead, to which Dawn says something like, "But how is this going to be enough for me to travel?" or something like that. And while that's a fair question, they never explain it. They completely ignore the logistics for traveling, and then we see her journey from meeting a legendary in the lake, meeting Piplup the goat, and more. Now, while Ash was more focused on gym badges, Dawn was focused on Pokemon contests, which I always liked, by the way, at least how they handled it in the anime. In the video games, the contests are basically minigames that you can play with your Pokemon. But in the anime, besides having to use the Pokemon movements to make a performance, you have to be good at battling, and a lot of the time it will be with double battles, so you can use the abilities of both Pokemon to both attack but also form Aura. And sometimes if you formed Aura good enough, your rival will actually lose HP. That's crazy. Imagine having so much Aura that people around start fainting. How do you even come up with something like this? And Dawn's episodes were really emotional at this point of the show. Ash is already a veteran, something we'll see later, but we have to remember that this is Dawn's first journey. So when she loses her first contest and she cries, I'm like, "No, please don't cry, you did good." And then her mom is like, "Not good enough it seems." And then I'm like, "Oh, shut up." As the season progresses, you will see how Dawn will get more and more confident, and I think she ended up being the Pokegirl with more development throughout the show. And it's no wonder why she kept appearing on future seasons, even during Ash's final battle against the world champion. Another thing that the anime did brilliantly was when Ash and Dawn switched Pokemons. Let me explain. Ash originally had Apom, and Dawn had a Breezer, and while they were happy with them, we'll notice how Apom was more interested in contests and Breezer was more interested in battles, so they decided to switch Pokemon to suit their interests, and Breezer ended up becoming one of Ash's strongest Pokemon, and Apom, well, let's just say he wasn't so lucky. And finally, the last and the most important point of this video, the battles. Both the gym battles and the contests were fire, and they get even more exciting when Ash decides to join a contest in order to hone his skills. Look at my boy, you can't tell me he doesn't look clean. If you are a fan of the anime, you already know this, but one of Ash's talents is that he doesn't give a fuck about any kind of laws, whether it comes to physics or the Pokemon games. And actually, I have 3 examples for this. First, during one of his battles, during his run on a contest, Ash decides to improvise and use Blizzard's Aqua Jet, but also take advantage of the Ice Beam from his rival, and therefore creating an exclusive move from the anime called Ice Aqua Jet, and Paul watched all of it on the screens. See, it's all connected, man, all connected. The first time he saw Ash on the contest, he was confused as all hell. Look at this stupid face, yo. But on the second time, he saw the ice move, and that shit was so fire that he didn't have any sarcastic thing to say. It's the little movements, man, the little moments. Numero 2. Fantina's gym match. As a kid, I was really looking forward to this match. You'll see that in the games, Fantina's gym is located in Heartdome City, and that will be the location for your 3rd gym battle, and technically it is in Pokemon Platinum, but in Diamond and Pearl, she's not available for some reason, so you can continue with your adventure and then battle her for the 5th gym badge. So far so good. The issue is that on the anime, Ash visited her gym like 4 times before she was actually available for the battle. I think even Ash was pissed off at that point, and I was too. So when the battle finally started, I was geeking. Now technically this was Ash's 2nd battle with her. The first time it was just for fun, let's say, and Ash got cooked, man, and I liked that. It meant that she was the real deal. So how was Ash able to beat her? During the battle, Ash asked his Pokemon to create something called a counter shield, where for example Blizzard will use Water Gun and then Breakdance in order to be able to both defend and attack. Chimchar will use Flamethrower and do the same, and so on and so on. Ash found a good technique and he started spamming that shit, with good reason too. Fantina is no different neither. She saw she was going to lose, so she used the technique of sleeping the Pokemon and then one-shotting them while they can't move. Wait, why does that sound familiar? And third, during Ash and Paul's final battle during the Sinnoh League. Guys, I cannot stress this enough how hyped this moment is. We have been waiting since the beginning of the season for Ash to finally beat Paul in a battle, and this fight is so intense that it lasts 4 episodes. Do you know what are the other 2 fights in the series that last 4 episodes? Ash's champion battle against Professor Kukui on the Sun and Moon season, and Ash's champion battle against Leoner on the Journeys season. They were both going crazy with the tactics. If you're seeing this video, I'm sure you already know about the iconic moment on this battle, where Infernape finally unleashes his full power and wins the battle for Ash. But remember, we are talking about Ash using his creativity to win battles. I want to talk about a moment prior to that one. During the battle, Paul fills the entire field with poison in a way that Ash's Pokemon will get affected whenever they will touch the ground. So how does Ash counter this? He asks Infernape to dive right under the field, and from there use Flamethrower, in this way eliminating all of the poison from the field and slowing the ninjas of Paul so he can then finish him up with an Ultra Punch. That's my goat! So yeah, I know I skipped a ton of details, but if you like the video then please let me know and I will be happy to talk more about this. Thank you so much for everything guys. Any kind of like, comment and subscribe that you can give me helps me like you guys have no idea. Please have a good one.